January 22nd, 2007. This is Die Hard Gamer Radio, episode 20.
You are listening to Die Hard Gamer Radio, the source for off-mainstream video game news and topics. Now your hosts, Murdock, Brian, and John.
Welcome back to Die Hard Gamer Radio. Once again, I am Murdock, and with me, as always, is John and Brian, and our special guest this time is our good friend Emily.
How special is our guest?
She's very special.
Special!
She requires medication.
Not Dramamine.
So you're not into acting?
No.
Drama.
Well, ask my husband.
I don't
Thank
think
you
he'd
for
even
listening to
wanna talk
Die Hard
about that
Gamer
even if he
Radio.
did
As
admit
always,
it.
you can listen to us.
What do you mean she acts in bed? Well, we do
She's
some
doing
role-play.
Othello.
As long as it's not Shakespeare. I mean, when you break out the skulls, that's just a little creepy.
Is it much
No,
ado about
no, it'd be
nothing?
more like, no.
She's doing a
A
pincher
streetcar
play.
named Desire. Stella!
Like, you're
That
doing
would
a
also
pincher
be
play
creepy.
while you're in bed.
You could do proof.
No, don't.
You put 1415964.
Quiet you. All right, so we're going to move on to our news bits, as this will feel like a very long podcast already.
Not my fault.
So our first news bit is Konami Next Gen titles canceled and not canceled.
Deal or no deal?
You bet I'll take it for 500.
So basically, they said, "Hey, we're going to cancel some games, and now we're not
Did they
going
ever
to."
really officially say that?
I thought it was
'Cause
just
I heard it was like a
Famitsu
rumor
fucked up.
from one of the game shows.
Well, no, Famitsu published it, and then they published a correction afterwards. I thought
Yeah.
Famitsu just fucked it up.
I think Famitsu jumped the gun on that. They took a rumor to be real, and then Konami said, "Oh, wait a minute, we don't cancel shit."
Well, there was that one game.
They did cancel Coded Arms Assault, which is kind of depressing because while the PSP game was nothing to write home about, they released some trailers for the PS3 version and it actually looked pretty nice.
Apparently, they couldn't code it.
Guess not.
Ow.
My job in this podcast is to beat Brian for all the bad puns.
Ow.
I don't think your hand's going to survive the evening.
I'll use
Yeah.
the mic.
That wasn't a pun. I just don't do it. Put it down, woman.
Anyway, so moving on, our next news bit, Square Enix will have a surprise announcement regarding Final Fantasy later this
Wait,
year.
don't-
It's going to
you-
have
don't you
angsty boys and girls that you can't distinguish between
It's a
boys.
sequel.
A remake of Final Fantasy VII?
Now they're going to go all the way and just automate the entire game. So you just put the disc in, turn it on, and watch it for 80 hours.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
called.
it's like a movie.
Yeah,
It's
yeah, they've done it. It's
improved
called
gambit
Final
system.
Fantasy Spirits
Advent
Within.
Children? Oh, yeah.
Oh, 80 hours
that
of
wasn't
angsty
long
boys.
enough or boring enough to be an actual Final Fantasy game.
It didn't really deserve the title.
It
Oh, it had, you had to
actually
pick
be a
up
Final
things
Fantasy
and
game.
you had to
It would
fight.
have to
and-
like loop over several
yeah,
sections in
and
the middle.
and
like
it had a girl named
100,
Aki.
200 times.
You know, if Final Fantasy Spirits Within was to be closer to the actual game, while you were watching the movie and you got to a significant scene,
There was no grinding.
no. What it was is you'd see on the screen it says, "Please insert disc 2," and then someone would have to run to the projection room, open up the PlayStation. Okay, here we go. So, sorry, you don't have enough memory card
And it had
space to watch
Donald
this movie.
Sutherland in it,
And okay,
which made it cool.
yeah, but it also had
I liked her voice,
Ming-Na
too,
in
but
it,
well.
which was very cool.
Ming-Na won.
Yeah, I think it's just Ming-Na now.
That's because she's lame.
Well,
Well, no, it should be lame when she's the actress formerly known as
Just call me Ming. Ming, darling.
So what's it take to have a surprise announcement about Final Fantasy? And what, are we just going to get another colored chocobo, or are they actually going to tell us something interesting?
who knows?
They're going to be chocobos.
They're going to
that
release
fly.
Final Fantasy 13 on an Atari 2600. Who knows?
Maybe they'll have a cookbook for
Maybe
chocobos.
they'll release it on the DS. They're still
That-
a new idea.
It's more likely than you think.
Touch the fantasy.
No.
You know you want it.
So, next, Capcom may be working on a remake of Street Fighter 2.
Hail be. Hail yes.
Well, you do know that the rights to Street Fighter 2 are actually with Capcom of the United States, not of Japan.
Well, pertaining to our last news bit, fascinating. A sequel to a popular game.
Yeah.
More often than you think.
Yeah. So next up, Xbox Live Arcade upped to a 250 megabyte limit. And has that gone through yet?
I don't think so.
I don't believe so.
Well,
I did do an upgrade today, though, or an update, so I haven't checked since.
it's not like there was ever a hardware limit for that. The only thing was they wanted it to fit on the memory card. And I think they've actually said that they're going to go up higher than this, that they're willing to go up to like 450, leading to a lot of speculation that we're going to see a half-gig memory card.
Can you move all of your Xbox Live stuff over to a memory card?
Yeah.
You don't need to, though, because it's all kept on your dashboard on live.
Yeah.
Well, you still have to have it local to be able to play it.
Do you?
Yeah.
I thought that was one of the advantages about having live.
No, you download it to your hard drive and you play it there. You can't play it over the network.
Oh, no, I'm thinking of the stats and all
So
that
the
other
big
fun
bonus
stuff.
is that you could just have a secondary copy of that.
Yeah, though, as far as I can tell, the Xbox Live Arcade games are linked to your Xbox, not to the memory device you store it on. So even if you put it on there, you still couldn't take it to a friend's and play it.
But let's say your hard drive craps out.
Right.
You can still get a new hard drive, put
Plug
your
it
memory
right
card
back
on,
in.
boom, it's plug and play.
Or you can just download it from Live again.
Yeah, it's not.
And you don't have to pay to download again.
As long as you remember your login.
It's linked to your live
Oh,
account,
nice.
actually.
Okay.
If you remember your live
It's not linked
account.
to your live account. It's linked to your Xbox.
According to
Right.
Xbox Magazine, it's linked to your live
It's
account.
linked to the Xbox. If you get a different Xbox, you can call them up and say, I have a different Xbox. Here's my live account that it's linked to. Please let me re-download them for this other console now. But when you buy it, it's linked to that Xbox. You can't take your live account with you to like
much
3
like
different
Phantasy
friends
Star
and
was
download
with
the
the
game a bunch of
Dreamcast.
times again.
Okay.
Okay, thanks for clarifying that.
I was kind of disappointed when I really wanted to bring a live arcade game over to a friend's house and it didn't work.
Thank you, Microsoft.
It's still a good
Making
system.
video
just doesn't let you
gaming
do
more
that one.
difficult than it should be. All right, so next up, O3 Entertainment to release Rattle G in the United States, February for $20. Unfortunately, probably does no good for Brian as he already owns the import.
Damn it, I love the Dreamcast.
Did you see that note about them shutting down GD-ROM production?
Yeah.
Karos is going to be the last game for the Dreamcast.
Yeah, but there was something about them opening back up a PSO.
That's on the Dreamcast.
Yeah, on the
Yeah.
Dreamcast.
But that's just
Another
the
server.
old game. Yeah.
I know.
They
It's
finally
crazy.
reopened a free server for it after it had been shut down for quite a long time.
I know people that'll probably be going, yay, I can finally get back on.
Well, they have to be people in Japan.
Okay, never mind.
There's a way around that.
And they have to have a modem connection still, or have found one of the incredibly rare Dreamcast broadband adapters.
Yeah.
I have one of those.
Yeah, I'm assuming Durkin and Jean both did.
You've got one too.
No, I don't have the broadband.
We used to get on live with your. Oh, maybe it was
That was
mine.
through dial-up.
No, I know. Craig has the.
Oh,
Yeah.
you're right. That was through dial-up. Yeah, we had to wait fucking like 10 minutes for it to load.
But Rattle G is a shooter by our good friends at Milestone. And I actually did some research on Milestone, Brian, and they are former Compile employees who basically were working on Xanac and a couple other of those types of games, and they stopped working on those types of games. It's like, let's start our own company and make
I think
shooters
that was
again.
released on a special I saw on YouTube or something.
Yeah.
I seem to remember seeing a special on Japanese companies.
I was doing some research on all these companies that spun off these big companies because the companies they work for no longer made the games that they wanted to play.
Yeah, and that's basically why they went there in the first place.
Yeah, so Tau Plan died, and we ended up with Cave, Rising, Takumi, and Gazelle.
Yeah.
Then Taito.
Yeah. And we're
And
seeing the
G-Rev.
same thing happen again too with the makers of Okami leaving.
Clover
Capcom
Studio.
Yeah, kind of do their own thing again. So.
Capcom seemed to lose a lot of talent on that one, though.
Yeah.
Well, they did it themselves. They're becoming like the EA of Japan in that sense. Where they're putting these high markers of where they want things to go, and it's killing the creativity because it's not making enough money for them. So.
Well, Capcom did have that we messed up on our taxes and now we owe a lot of money to the Japanese government.
Like an automaker.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I have to like Capcom because they're releasing games for the 360, although they do seem to be the foremost proponent of the HD era. Lost Planet, text just as small as Dead Rising, and Forces 69, even on your 4.3 television.
Yeah.
I think
Oh,
they've
yeah.
decided for us that it's time to upgrade.
Yeah, whether you like it or not, you're going to upgrade.
You know, it didn't look that bad, though. I didn't have a problem reading it. Didn't
It's
have the
pretty
same problem
small.
as Dead Rising. I don't know if maybe they're using a different font or what, but
It's not quite as tiny as the conversation text, but it's as small as most of the others, and it's quite hard to read on a normal television.
I didn't have that much trouble. Trouble? Trouble's a new word. I didn't have that much trouble reading it.
Playing the demo, too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unless there's something specific with the demo, but this was on the CD, not the downloaded one.
Which is exactly the same as the
Oh.
download one.
So.
Paper
Problem
magazines.
solved.
Irrelevant!
Oh.
Oh.
jeez.
All right, so moving on. Our next news bit, Wii outselling the PS3 in Japan. Gee, what
What
a
a surprise.
surprise. Yeah.
Well, there's a shock. They
And the
made a
crowd
lot
goes
more.
wild.
Now, how
They
much-
charge half as much.
How much is the PS3 in Japan?
It's only
40.
like $50 cheaper, I think, for the big. It's
For the
like
low-end
50.
one?
Yeah, they drop like by $50, I think, for both sizes.
Huh.
That was like 48,000 something yen. At least that's what Kotaku was listening today.
For the 20 or the 60.
20.
Yeah,
Huh.
that translates to
48,000.
like 449 or.
Yeah.
430 or something.
Yeah.
It's a little cheaper.
I don't know what the exchange
It's
rate is
cheaper
right now.
to buy a PS3 in Japan than it is to buy one here.
Yeah, that was set from the start, though.
Yeah,
was
that's
a
true.
But,
Too bad there aren't any games to play on it.
But you could
It's
pay
not
for it.
like the Wii selling that well as all that is nearly as remarkable as how well the DS is still selling.
It
Like,
prints
how long has it been
money.
out
Prints
for,
money!
and people still wait in line for the damn thing.
Well, that's like all of Japan.
And we're not just talking about the
Crazy.
light; they're still selling DSs over there too. What's left of stock? Well, you don't buy a PS3 for the games. We all know that. You buy them for the virtual games.
You mean the games that don't exist yet?
In
That
your
are in
head.
the ether somewhere?
One thing I did read about that too, I think it was today or yesterday, was that the PS3 is paying companies to make original games for the virtual downloads. So that's kind of interesting.
Well, they
It's
probably
not
want
just
to get
gonna
a
be
jump start
rehash.
on it.
Yeah, that's a cool idea, though. I'm glad they're investing into that because it's kind of like a starter program for some companies. I think it'll allow them to kind of test the waters.
Well, and there's also just some nifty ideas out there. I mean, they hired the guy who did Flow to do the PS3 version, and that
Yeah,
definitely looks like it's
it
gonna
looks
be cool.
pretty cool, but it's
Flash
not
game looks
enough to buy
great.
the system.
Well, yeah.
All right, so moving on. Next news bit, Guitar Hero 2 for the Xbox 360 has extra tracks.
Extra?
Extra
Read
tracks
all about
as
it.
in bands that some of them I've kind of heard of.
You know, they need to get some
And
skinny
I think
puppy
we've
on
heard
there.
now from the interviews that they're
Wish I
saying
would've
that the
done my
entire original Guitar Hero tracks will show up as downloadable for the 360.
Yeah, but yet,
Sweet.
once again, you got to buy another controller.
Well, yeah,
Just-
we'll see how that all ends up working out. And I'm not real happy with Red Octane after this whole ditch and harmonics thing.
I did see that
I'm
Nyko
not-
is going to make an adapter for you to be able to play your existing PS2 guitars on the PS3, so that was
Yeah.
kind of a nice little news bit.
Yeah.
I can see how it's not feasible with the Xbox, but at least the PS3 is going to be a little bit more friendly.
Well, you'd hope so, because you're playing the same game on the PS3. And this is-
Well, it's got that
Exactly, yeah.
like
Controller
tilt
doesn't
action
work
and
out.
everything with that new controller.
That's unless, of course, it voids the goddamn warranty.
We're getting to that.
Yeah.
So next up, woman dies due to a radio contest for a Wii. Basically,
She was a sponge.
She wasn't a sponge.
yeah, that
I've
was
been
a
amazed.
problem.
This has shown up on like all the mainstream media.
Yeah.
It's been on like the real news.
And
shit.
then the
That's all
family
the Wii
suing.
needs is more negative publicity.
Well,
the family totally has rights on this one. I mean,
No, they don't. They
Okay.
don't have any fucking rights.
All right,
the woman
well-
is an adult. It was the assumption of risk. Dude.
the assumption of risk for drinking water.
Yes. It was a contest. It's one of those funny things you sign, assumption of risk. If you're going to
Okay.
be that much of a fucking dumbass.
Yet they still fired 10 employees from
Well, of
the
course
And
they
they
did. What
ignored
would
you do?
several warnings that this could be dangerous to their health.
So for those who haven't heard about this, it's basically this radio station had a contest for what was it called? get
Hold
a Wii.
your Wii.
Hold your Wii,
Wii
for a
a
Wii.
Wii.
Which is something that John probably could have come up with.
Totally.
Yes, because it does not have enough Wii. And what was it? A drink? It was
2 gallons of
think.
water.
Yeah, she had
Every-
6 bottles, and then she added like another 3
And it was
bottles.
in like, what, an hour or two?
Yeah.
It was,
It was very,
it was once an hour, and it was like a certain amount of water every hour, and then the last person standing won, and then this poor lady. She gets like second or third place and then goes home and dies.
Dude, Darwin.
She was trying to win this for her children.
Because it's obvious that water can be harmful if you drink a lot.
Dude, it's one of those urban legends. You always hear about it all the time. You know, so and so drink.
I've never heard of that urban legend, actually.
You never have?
I've
Oh my
heard about
God.
it with the ecstasy warnings.
Yes.
Because there were some of the people who did that. But also this thing has made me realize that most people did not know about this.
Ecstasy
and
and
this is
meth.
an unusual and unknown piece of
Yeah,
health information.
I'd never heard of
Well,
it before.
It's common, you know, if your body's going, don't drink any more water, you know, it might be a reason not to drink any more water.
And-
Dude,
and
I figure it's Darwinism.
And the thing
If
is
someone
that
was
they
fat, freaking dumb enough to do something like that, she deserves to die.
and the thing was that there were people that actually warned them about the overhydration problem, and they were completely ignored.
And the intern told her there were no risks. There's all sorts of stuff that they fucked up with.
Oh, bullshit. Dude, Darwin. This
Well-
goes on the Darwin. $10 says it makes the Darwin Awards.
Well, here's, of course, a lawsuit is pending. Gee, what a surprise!
Because it's America. I'll
And
sue ya.
they're
I
suing
think
the
this
radio
one's
station.
justified.
Well, they're suing the radio station, and word has it
They
that
should
they
sue
may.
the makers of water.
Or how about the radio station might have looked into what happens when you drink a lot of water when you run a contest about drinking a lot of water.
Don't they have lawyers that cover these kind of things?
Well, they usually, my understanding is they sign some sort of consent form saying, oh, by the way, the radio station isn't responsible if your head explodes during the contest. I mean, that's the assumption. I mean, you can correct me if I'm wrong.
And well, the water had to go somewhere.
But there is now word that they may be thinking of suing Nintendo. I am not.
Whatever.
I'm not making that up.
You know, this is
Is Jack Thompson defending or prosecuting this while he's at it?
Jack Thompson, ace attorney.
Well, that would be dumb.
objection.
No,
On the other hand, the radio station obviously has some feelings of guilt for this after they fired everybody.
Well, they fired everybody that
corporate
could probably get
America.
them in trouble. We don't want you to talk. Get the hell out.
So, do they even have a case?
I think this is a reasonable case against the radio
I think
station,
it's
but
called
obviously not
settling.
against Nintendo because they were a third party to this. It wasn't.
Well,
even,
then-
they didn't even give consent to this or have anything to do with it. It's just their item that was put up for the the contest. That's stupid and frivolous at best. The radio station, yeah. I mean, and Emily will attest to that. It's feasible they can do that, and the radio station will probably end up settling in some way or form or another.
Of course they'll settle. Is it Clear Channel station? I'm betting.
Yeah,
If
that
it
was
is,
the question.
if it
Was
is,
it
if it's a
Clear
clear,
Channel? Good,
if it's a
Clear
Clear Channel
They
station,
own,
they're
like,
going
what,
after the
80%
money.
of them out there?
You know, you only sue deep pockets. That's just the rule. So if it was some Joe Bob Hicks station that nobody knows about, they'd never sue. But since it's probably owned by Clear Channel, they're going after the
Well,
deep
they'd
pockets.
probably sue them anyway because they probably have an insurance company.
Yeah, but those insurance policies are pretty de minimis. I mean, you're talking $1 million max for something like that,
They'd
not for
probably
something.
still sue, yeah?
Well,
No.
they'll- whatever they can get out of it.
Not for something like that. No.
Because your mother died, you wouldn't sue even if you could only get $1 million.
Well, no, because there's a certain standard of level that they're going to have to show, and settlement is what the big thing is, and they're going to settle out, and they're going to settle out for a big hefty sum, and because it's Clear Channel, they can do that.
Yeah, and she also
And the
happens to be a
insurance
really
company will have
sympathetic
some say, I'm
case,
sure.
so probably don't want them to go to jury.
No, of course not.
Killed
Because
the mother of three who was
because
trying to win
juries
a
are
video
dumb.
game console.
no, fuck, juries are dumb. Trust me. How many fucking juries have I seen? They're stupid. And it's like, oh, my heart bleeds.
They do award frivolously. That's the why they want to go for a jury trial.
Listeners note: Emily used to be a lawyer.
Yeah, juries are stupid. Lawyers are evil, and juries are stupid. And are sexual at 11.
All right, moving on because we've talked enough about weeing for a wee.
Pulte, where's the pulte?
Avoid your PS3 warranty.
Oh, we can talk about peeing and voiding.
Yes.
About avoiding peeing.
So yeah,
Oh wait, no, we already talked about that.
as Brian was saying, the next news bit is you can void your PS3 warranty by using unofficial Sony components which is basically anything that is priced at a decent human level.
Yeah, and doesn't have the Sony brand on it.
Yeah, and that you pay like 5 times more for.
Oh, so they just void your warranty if you use a
Component.
standard notebook hard drive.
Well,
Did this cover the hard drive stuff too, or was this just AV cable stuff?
it covers anything that is not considered unofficial Sony components. It's actually in the user manual. It says if you use anything that is not a Sony brand and you plug it in your PlayStation 3 and it blows up, you're fucked.
So moral of the story, when you send it back, make sure to put all of the standard Sony components you got with it back in.
Yeah, and don't do what this idiot did, and how he found out about it was he called Sony. It's like, oh yeah, I put in this Mad Catz thing, and they're like, yeah, you're fucked.
Yeah, congratulations, you got a $600 toaster.
Yeah.
Hey, you can make it into a Foreman grill.
Yeah, that is
I
true.
think it serves a much better purpose.
Yeah.
Stylish and tasty.
And it really looks like a grill from the start.
It does.
Yes. Or a coffin.
For
Or it's
Barbies.
a coffin
Yes.
after you blow it up.
Yeah.
It's a coffin for my Barbies. Because, you know, I had some.
Sure.
I actually made them do real sex things when I was a kid.
Okay, that's enough.
TMI. Okay.
Moving
Oh,
on.
come on.
Our last news bit is the game Tulip is going to be a was it a game?
A GameStop exclusive.
Okay. Can you tell
Yes,
us a little
kids,
bit about
that's
this game, John?
As I understand it, game has finally gotten a U.S. release. It's been in negotiation for some time with various publishers, and as part of the oddity for that, it's now only being distributed through GameStop. It's another unusual Japanese game.
Oh, we haven't seen enough of those.
You play a character who's a boy who moves to a rural town with his father and has to go around making people happy and kissing them, with the eventual goal of kissing the girl under the ancient tree. Sounds kind of weird. It's going to release at $30, and it's got to have a really limited print run if it's only going to come out at GameStop.
I don't know what to think about this game.
High five.
No. Okay. So next up, we have our topics, and the first topic we're going to talk about is sequels of games we'd like and not like to see. I personally would not like to see a sequel of Daikatana.
Daikatana!
Oh, it'd be better than the original.
What are you basing that on? Well, we have poo, and then we added more poo to it.
Is that the
Except this one has corn.
This is the German
More
sequel.
pixels.
It's D Katana D.
It'd have to be better than the first one.
You know, I never actually played the game. I never saw it. By the time it came out, I think I was living out here, and nobody, did anything except
I remember
study.
seeing the screenshots and had the worst-looking frogs ever.
Is that the basis
they were
of
brown.
a high-quality game?
It
The
was the
frogs
poo.
are pretty well done.
There was a very entertaining mix that somebody did with just the voice files from the game, though. It was a pretty good song.
Maybe the poo hopped. You said they were brown. The frogs. They could have hopped. There was poo.
Hop and poo.
All right. So, Brian, do you have any sequels of games you want to see, or maybe
Definitely Okami. That's going to be interesting.
sequel to
I
Okami?
really like
huh?
the first one.
Yeah, we're never going to see that one.
Yeah, seeing as how we would need a studio to develop it.
Well, I'd like to see it.
Well,
Yeah.
It's probably not going to happen, but I'd like to see it.
okay.
I'm probably going to see something in some other iteration of it coming out, but a little different, a little more creative. I don't know. I mean, the sky's the limit with these guys. They're that creative. It's just a matter of getting the funding and.
Well, but they're never going to be able to leverage the rights away from Capcom. So if there's going to
What's
be
I'm
a
saying?
sequel,
We'll see
it's gonna be
something
from
like that,
Capcom.
but it won't be an official sequel, and it'll be something, obviously a little more creative, a little different. Probably not with a wolf.
And
Maybe a kitty.
and any game that you don't want to see a sequel for?
Sexy beach game.
Rise of the Robots.
That always come out in our list, man.
Don't know, man. That game just scarred me for life.
It was that bad.
I'm going to say that I could probably go the rest of my life without seeing a sequel to another Turok game.
Turok!
Yeah, they did kind of fuck up everyone they've tried to do.
Bunch of Indian givers.
It was just a bad plan.
Any particular choices, John, as far as a sequel that you do not want to see?
That I do not want to see.
Of course, you realize that they will make it based on the fact that you do not want to see it.
I'm not going to say a damn thing then. I'm
Britney's
not going to let
beach
him in on my
party.
greatest fears. None of
You
that
don't
to them.
control me.
So, any... so,
Somebody
other
give me
than
some
Britney's
ecstasy.
dance beat...
I'd really like
Oh,
to
that
see
would
a sequel to like Star Control, though. Star Control 4, really get excited about that one.
Didn't that come out on the Genesis? I seem to remember.
Well, they did a couple of versions for different consoles. It was primarily a PC
Was it
series,
3DO.
but they ported Star Control to the Genesis, maybe the Super Nintendo too. I'm not sure about that one. I know they did the Genesis version. And Star Control 2 came out on the 3DO.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Yeah, I don't remember.
3
What
was
the Super
PC only and
Nintendo.
an absolute piece of crap. And it was really depressing because Star Control 2 is the best game ever made. So it'd be really nice if we got 4 from people who did 2 and actually knew what the hell it was all about and didn't fuck it up.
Any choices, Em?
I'm really stuck on a Britney dance beat game, but you could do it totally like,
Like
current
back when she
events.
was hot.
No, current events. So you've got her little crotch shots going and shit.
Oh,
and then
my
Kate
God.
Fed can get on there and beat her up, and she could drop the kids, and you have to
Get a
drop
bunch
the
of
kids
trailer
on
trash
time.
songs.
They already have the game out. It's called Backyard Wrestling.
But are there crotch shots?
Woo,
Ooh,
because
Britney,
it's
shit!
I would
an
have
adults
Steve-
only
Damn!
I would have to ask Steve on that as he notices crotch shots more than anyone else. Hey, Ulala, shut up!
game. But that was really disturbing.
Because she
in
didn't
Space
have a
Channel
crotch.
Oh,
5.
my God.
See, at least with Britney, you'd get to see lips, and wouldn't even Camel. Wouldn't even be Camel. Be like, wow, she's
Anatomically
stubbly.
speaking, she's left the room.
Engorged clitoris?
The other one I'd really like to see is a
Maybe she drank too
sequel
much water.
to Shogo
There we
Mobile
go.
Armored Division.
What now? What game was that?
Shogo Mobile Armored Division.
Oh,
It was basically an anime game done by Western developers who nailed all the cliches. They really got it down.
I would like to see a
True
sequel
fans.
to the Guardian Legend for the NES.
Oh, jeez.
Or a real sequel to Bionic Commando. One that does not suck. And probably Blaster Master.
Speaking
Blaster
of good,
Master?
It was a game on
Sorry,
the...
I'm stuck with Master Blaster.
Oh, the,
From
the enemy from
video
Kid
to
Video?
my radio.
Oh, my God. I never watched that. I watched the cool shows like Land of the Lost.
Dude.
I'm thinking Master Blaster from Beyond the Thunderdome.
Oh.
Here's the Master Blaster.
We don't need another hero.
I'm your private dancer, bitch. Ugh.
We don't need another hero.
I'm editing that.
No, you got to keep that in. That was awesome.
I think
That was
you're right.
beautiful.
We don't need another hero.
Yeah, but we do need a sequel to Guardian
Heroes?
Heroes. A true
We
sequel.
do... Well, yeah, because the
That
sequel
advanced,
for that
that's
game kind of sucked.
Yeah.
Which is unfortunate.
That was a great game in its day. I put many an hour into that. Fucking loved it. It was right up there with the same concept as Alien vs. Predator. Just great side-scrolling beat-em-up action, and we just don't get enough of those games anymore. That's a lost genre,
Oh,
really.
come on. There's DOA. Oh, wait, whoops.
No.
Wow.
Side-scrolling beat-em-up. That's
Yeah, now
what I-
there's a sequel of a game that I don't want to see, War Gods. Or, what was that game?
What are you talking about? There's so many freaking versions of Mortal Kombat to come out still. They're never going to get to War Gods.
Well, War Gods was like a 3D ripoff done by Midway for Mortal Kombat, except it had, like, no control whatsoever.
I
That's
remember we
awesome.
saw
Midway
that
rips
at,
off Midway.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
I remember seeing that at E3 in '96 when they had the arcade. And it was all by itself and nobody was playing it.
Yeah, that was right next to the copy of there was a game like this adult publisher came out with called Rihanna Rogue, and I remember someone playing it, and it was this really badly digitized woman, and she's wearing like some futuristic black leather thong thing from
Because
Hercules,
thongs
whatever.
are so futuristic.
And basically the entire 5 seconds I saw of this game is she's just walking along. She looks at this orb. The orb shoots her, and then you go to a cutscene where she's all like badly bloodied up and everything, like
it was
something
heavy
out of
metal.
like a Guru chat board.
Tentacle wipe?
No.
So
No, this was
wasn't
worse.
that some like FMV game that they got an actual porn star into? And
Yeah.
Couldn't get her out.
Ask
maybe.
me about tentacle wipe.
Yeah,
her off.
that was, we sold that at, when I was working at EB, we sold that game. It was behind the wall next to Catfight, the all-digitized female fighting game for your PC, which didn't run on anything.
Didn't
Not
run
real
on
high
anything.
standards, folks.
No.
Maybe you needed a little lube to get it going.
No. No.
Little KY,
No.
Astroglide.
Actually, the cat was out of the
No,
bag.
but possibly, I don't know,
You
drivers
weren't hitting
probably
the
would have
buttons
helped.
properly. Just got to
It didn't
massage
work
that
on-
button right.
No, it didn't
Control?
work on
Yes,
anything.
we have no control. We've lost control.
Oh, sequel to a game I don't want to see. Another Myst game.
Dude, you fucking. There's a Myst 6, by the way.
Was it called The Fog?
No, it was at
Based
the
off Nintendo 64 architecture.
architecture. No, it was at Micro Center. There's a Myst 6, the final chapter, or some such nonsense.
I'll believe it when I see it.
I'll believe when I don't see 7.
No, it was at Micro Center, and their
It
new
was 6
game
and
thing.
not 5?
Maybe it was 5. I don't know. I wasn't
I
looking
think
that
it's 5.
closely.
Yeah, because it's the last one because Cyan shut down. They're not making any more of them.
Oh, there
Thank
you go.
goodness.
No, now you get
Got
your
for
dream
small
come
favors.
true. I was watching the Fantastic Four and the Wonderful Dialogue.
And you got distracted by Myst 5, huh? Okay.
I like Myst. I like adventure games. What can I say?
Did you ever play the Uru Live stuff? Because
No.
somebody picked that one up.
No, I haven't.
What about 7th guest or 11th?
Oh, this is funny. I played 7th Guest
Tell
with
him about
Steve.
Phantasmagoria.
It sucked. Played 7th Guest with Steve, and I read the spoilers in it, and I told him who the 7th Guest was halfway through the game, and he almost beat the shit out of me. He was so mad. I can't finish
You
this
had
game.
every right. It's shocking you still have teeth.
Oh my God! You're gonna side with him because I told him who the 7th Guest was?
Yep.
Coming in the middle
Totally
of the movie
fucked over
going,
the game
oh,
experience.
this ending would have been a lot better.
Spock
So
dies!
Die. Well, what?
Vader's Luke's father.
Unjustifiable.
To this day, he still remembers that.
I
You
can see why.
spoiled 7th Guest for me. Oh.
Can't let you in the game when playing any games anymore.
Remember, Steve, it's down the road, not across the street. So now that we've completely gone off topic,
On to ginger pills?
yes, on to ginger pills.
It sound like they're having some effect.
I actually took those ginger pills, was it Saturday morning? No.
Well, I have to do the setup, Em.
Okay.
Set her up.
Okay.
With a
But
fall.
knock 'em down.
Okay, so here's the deal. M suffers from, what would you say?
Gingivitis?
No.
She has a chronic gaming disability.
I have a chronic gaming disability that affects millions and millions of people, and I'm setting up a foundation for it. No, I just get
Is
really
it going to
badly.
be called Lactate?
I get a shitload of money. That's a good idea. I might have to set something up like
She
that.
could really milk that one.
No.
No.
I get really motion sickness easily.
So, playing 3D games, specifically first-person shooters, M
Freaks out.
has a
Eyeballs
minor
pop out of
protein
her head.
imbalance that
Ears bleed.
I have an ion imbalance that causes me to get dizzy, get migraines, and then I start puking.
She's
So-
going to be
Gonna
reionized.
Spew in here.
So what happened was that there was an episode of Mythbusters that went over motion sickness cures, and one of the cures was ginger pills, and I had mentioned it to M, and for the hell of it, she tried it, and what were the results? M, based off this completely non-scientific approach.
Is it
Well,
true
you know,
myth
we
or
actually
busted.
we tried to actually figure out a way to set this up so it would be.
Well, we
somewhat
already know what the
scientific.
control is going to
Well,
be.
that's just it. Is there was no controls. Okay. I tried it twice with 2 different games. One time with Halo, because I've always wanted to play Halo, because I think all domestic disputes should be solved by shoving rocket launchers up people's asses. I think it would solve a lot of arguments in my house. And then with Boob
Some
Raid.
would say that blows.
And then with Tomb Raider, which I have found makes me very sick, because there's this thing where you have to look through binoculars and you're spinning all around the place trying to find things. That's really nasty. So I tried it first with Halo, and The few other times I've played Halo before, I've never been able to play it for longer than 10 minutes before I start getting very, very ill with very, very bad headaches, and I have to go lay down. It's actually very debilitating because it makes me sick for the rest of the day.
So maybe it messes with like the balance in your ears.
Yeah, well, it's standard.
Like your,
it's standard
equilibrium.
Yeah, it's standard visual. I can't think of the technical term. Ocular disorder, where you're seeing motion, but your inner ear is not registering it. So it gives you bad headaches, make you sick, can make you throw up. I do all of the above, and I usually get really, really, really sick. Like I have to go lay down in a dark room, or I'll start getting migraines too. So. Every other time I've tried to play Halo, I've only been able to play for about 10 minutes before I start getting sick. And this time around, I got through about a half hour of it before it really started affecting me.
So not a cure.
No. Though it's a question of, is I've never played FPSs, and it might be an issue of registering and getting used to the
Nah, it was
motion.
totally fine from the very beginning.
This is coming from someone who's played FPSs all his life.
Yep.
Yeah, and I've never played an FPS before.
So she's got no experience on it at all.
Well,
I don't think there's an initial motion sickness period for people that.
Well,
don't
if
have
you've
that
never
problem.
played it before, I would imagine that there's at least some sort of,
I remember
guess,
back in
ramp-up
the day
period.
introducing people to FPSs and going, "Whoa,
Yeah,
cool,
but
look
back
at
in
this
the
game."
back in the day was Doom, the original Doom, where I can actually play the original Doom because the frame rates are so slow, and what's going on is so slow, and you can track it, and you can register it. I get motion sick watching bad panning in movies, or even looking
Doom
or just
didn't
the
affect you.
camera.
old Doom because how slow it goes, because you can concentrate.
It's not full motion. It's like,
Yeah.
You know,
Well,
you're looking
And-
it wasn't stuttery. I mean, I got a decent FPS on it.
Well, yeah, but I think what it is
sounds like
that
you're just saying you move
motion
slower.
and everything has gotten a lot smoother since Doom.
So much more realistic
More
now.
realistic, and it's just, if you start at Doom and then work your way up, you can see that the progression and you slowly get used to it. But if you start at where we're at now,
Yeah.
it's
With
very
Halo.
hard
You
to
can't register
get
it as
used to
easily.
it unless you've had that sort of ramp-up period. It's like people who've never
I've
played
certainly
games before.
dropped my parents in front of FPSs, and while they have no interest in playing them, they also don't get sick from it. So
Some
I
people
don't
just
think there's an initial.
Some
learning
people
period.
just don't get motion sick. I
Oh,
happen
no,
to get.
I
Yeah, but
totally
there's a difference.
understand that you've got a problem.
There's
with
a
this, but I
difference
don't
between
think there's
playing
this
it and
ramping
watching
up
it,
period
though.
is actually going to be there.
Well, then that leads me into the next one. Is I tried playing this with Tomb Raider, which I can usually only play for about a half hour to 45 minutes at a time before it starts making me sick.
Even when you don't use the binoculars, since they aren't that important.
They're actually really important in Legend. For a lot of things,
The game,
huh?
not that important.
Well, did you get all the little thingies?
Got a lot of them, but not all of them.
Well, so you need to get all. I have a certain way. I'm very methodical about the way I play, and I need to go through and finish and find everything.
You
So
actually found all the golds without looking at any of the facts,
That's how I'm playing right now, and what I'm doing.
and you found all the golds.
Well, you don't find the golds. You get the silver. You get all the silver and the bronze, and then as the prize, you get the gold at the end. And that's how it gets tallied in.
No,
Yeah.
no, there's specific gold ones.
No, there's each level has one gold, and you get that when
Yeah.
you complete the silver and the bronze.
Uh-huh. No, you're wrong.
Denied.
All right.
Anyways,
Grenade.
tried it with with Boob Raider, and it was kind of interesting because I did it on an empty stomach on a Sunday morning when I didn't have to go anywhere, and
Really pushing yourself.
I really was. And I spent like the next hour burping up ginger, but it was kind of a weird thing because I could feel it, my brain kind of going. It's a really weird thing when you can feel things in your brain going weirdly between your eyes and your head. And I did not get my usual motion sickness bullshit.
Firing on all
from
8
it.
cylinders.
I think I was firing on 3 that day.
I'm gonna explain your problem.
So were you able to play?
Or you could just become less OCD and not get all the shinies and ignore the binoculars.
No, but even if you look around, if you look
That
around
still bothers
fast,
you.
yeah.
It's just the camera work itself. It
Yeah.
sounds like.
So how long were you able to play with the ginger pills before it started affecting you?
Couple hours.
So
I'm gonna.
Definitely improved things.
Yeah, like I said, I could only play Halo before for about 10 minutes, and I could
Now,
play for
what
a half
if
hour.
you got your body adjusted to that, where you're taking a little bit of these ginger pills every day? Do you think where if you'd absorb more of it, it might give a better effect?
I don't know, and I thought about that partially because of my stomach problems, and ginger is well known to help with calming
ginger
stomach.
eases your stomach.
Sounds like you should buy a box of this crap thing.
I'm thinking I should, because, God knows I have
ginger
enough.
in drinks all the time.
Oh, yeah.
It eases the ability to absorb things
And
and make your stomach.
it's
a little
not
And
like
it shouldn't, I don't know why it would affect your head, but it's well known to help ease your stomach. And so at least I didn't get the nausea that I usually do. So that was good. But it's the ocular issues.
This
So-
might prove to be more useful just
I
not
would like
just
to
for
try-
gaming, but
Yeah.
for things in general. If
But I'm all about the rocket launchers up the butt.
so we may see
Domestic
M doing
disputes.
the
I love
FPS
them
thing here
real.
real soon.
That's my hope, because I have nothing more in the world that I want better than to shove a rocket launcher up
You tried Gears of
Walker's
War?
ass. Yeah, Gears of War had the same problem. It's how fast.
And Gears of War isn't really third person. It's definitely that weird kind of in between.
Yeah, well, it switches between the two so much it doesn't really fit in either one.
Well, it's not
It's
really
kinda
switching
weird.
because you can't move the camera around your character. It's always fixed behind him, so it's much more like an FPS
But when you
camera
like when you
than like
zoom
a
in on
third-person
people and
one.
stuff, it gives you that first person, so it's kind of fitting between the two.
Hmm.
It is a weird mix, but it's well done still.
It's a lot like RE4 for the camera system.
Okay. So, all right. Well,
That was my very unscientific.
hey, at least it helped. I mean,
So-
that's a lot
it helped,
better
too.
than what you were before.
So I'm going to keep trying to play Halo, actually, because that's my goal, is to be able to shoot people with rocket launchers.
So there's nothing else for motion sickness other than Dramamine as an actual prescription drug that's known to work.
I've been looking.
Not that
The
Dramamine is
Dramamine.
prescription anymore, but
Well, no, but Dramamine puts me to sleep. I mean, it'll knock me out for about 10 hours.
there's just no
Wow.
alternative to it.
I don't know
side
if any.
effect.
There's the Mythbusters. Fuck me.
He likes the game.
Fuck. God damn it. That damn fucking show.
Mythbusters.
Yes. They did. They tested a bunch of other things. Another prescription drug, Dramamine.
And a
Sugar
placebo.
pills were remarkably
Placebo.
effective.
Yes, the placebo. And some homeopathic bullshit. And the ones that worked were actually, well, the placebo. And the ginger pills.
The actual prescription drug worked too.
And the actual prescription drug. But I
Well, after
You have a
millions of
problem
dollars
with
in
those,
R&D,
yes.
it's got to work.
Have
Yeah,
you ever
but-
talked to a doctor to find out if they have anything actual prescription that's different than Dramamine?
that would involve me going to a doctor.
Yeah,
Well,
but
yeah, they can solve problems, you know.
Yeah, they're also very expensive, and I don't think my insurance covers it.
plus you figure ginger
Just your
pills are
rocket launchers
probably.
goodbye, then.
Well, here's the thing: ginger pills are probably a lot less expensive than any prescription medication that a
And
doctor
they're all
would give
totally
you.
natural, so they're not going to give you some wacky side effect or cause other problems too. So
May cause water
Burps.
coming out of your ass.
Lots of gingery burps.
Okay, well, it's interesting. It's that I might want to try it on the 2 games that I have motion sickness on.
You have motion sickness problems?
Only on 2
You didn't
games.
tell us you were a cripple.
Gimp! Oh my God, Murdock's just like me.
give them some of your ginger pills.
Okay.
Stat.
All right, I can play Halo. I have no problems with it, but like I said, there's only 2 video games that I get motion sick on. One of them being Descent, which is
Okay.
probably
So the
It's
full
this feeling
3D
of
thing going on.
falling.
yeah. Well, it's the full 3D levels, and just for whatever reason, I can't play that game for more than 30 minutes.
It was also crappy era 3D.
Well, that's true. And there's a PS1 first-person shooter called Alien Trilogy, which I have some real bad issues
God, I love
with.
that game. Oh, I wish
Figures.
they'd make a sequel to that.
But they
Well-
call it Alien Trilogy 2?
Well,
The
and I
Alien Quadrily.
6.
and I
Sexology.
and I can play that game for like an hour or
sick,
so,
right?
but then after that my head just really hurts, and I don't know if it's the weapon bob or something. I don't know, but it's just that specific game. There's something in it that just really causes me to just my brain to do weird things. But every other FPS, I really don't have any issue with. But for whatever reason, I don't know what it is with that game.
Never had any problems with any of the other flight sims?
Nope.
Like, never tried Terminal Velocity?
No, I don't have any problems with that.
Huh. That's
It's-
odd that you'd be... that. It
It's
would
just like a
be
specific
Descent.
game.
Yeah.
Well, Descent I can kind of understand. Just it's disorienting,
Yeah.
but I don't know why the Alien
Which
Trilogy
version
thing.
of Descent were you playing?
Um,
On the PC or on
yeah,
the
it's on the
PlayStation?
PC.
Right. Because I really don't like any of the 3D on the old PlayStation era stuff because the textures kind of crawl around all weird, really weird looking.
Yeah.
But if it was on the PC, you can't use that excuse for it.
Yeah. So, okay. So next we have our game reviews. So I'm going to be talking about Castlevania. So I'm going to go over 2 games as quickly as I can. And the first game is Castlevania Portrait of Ruin. So basically, this game, you actually play a team of intrepid adventurers, Charlotte and John, and you go through the Castlevania castle, as you always do, but there's portals of... there's these portraits that go to different areas of, I guess, it's like the same area, but it's just different sections. It's not really in the castle, but they're just separated.
Solid.
Yeah.
Yeah, through portraits.
Yes, through portraits.
Hence the name,
And
Portrait
it's not
of
necessarily
Ruin.
as a team. You can always just use one character or the other. And
Yeah,
then call
or
upon the
or
other.
team up. But in the vein of Symphony of the Night and all the other games, it's a very solid game. Really well done as far as music, level design, standard Konami fare.
I don't think it was as challenging as it
No,
should have been.
it was definitely a lot easier than Dawn of
Probably its
Sorrow.
only major fault, really.
Yeah. And the other thing that I was kind of disappointed in the game takes place around World War II, and I would have liked to see some more of those types of elements in the game.
Yeah.
That was well, actually, that kind of would have been kind of cool
Nazi
if they had like
zombies.
Nazi zombies or something.
Yeah.
That actually would have been kind of interesting, but I would have liked to see more of that era type of maybe the technology
Should
or
have utilized the time period a
Yeah.
little bit more.
that
you
I
don't get
would.
to pull out a submachine gun and fill
But
Dracula
instead you
full
go
of
into
lead.
portraits and you end up in ancient Egypt.
Oh.
And
No
I'm like,
looters, no potato mashers.
And not just one of them, but 2 of them.
yeah. That's the other thing is that there's 2 versions of the same level, and it's almost like the programmers may have gotten a little lazy and decided, we're just gonna go ahead and make another map. We're gonna use the same sprites. We'll just change the colors. Blah 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 blah.
What's the whole basis of the portraits, though?
They were created by a creature by the name of was it Browner, who lost both his daughters in the war, and kidnaps 2 girls and puts a spell onto them, and they wander around the castle attacking everything that moves, and that's
And
basically
the portraits also give the castle its power too.
Yeah, and that's about all we could say before we actually spoil some of the
Yeah.
There's still a
storyline.
Dracula at the end, right?
Sure, we'll go with that. But anyway, on the new improved John rating scale, which I think we'll use from now on,
What's the John rating scale?
the John rating scale is we take the amount of money that we purchased for it, and then we say how much the game is actually worth.
Oh, okay.
How many
So-
dollars would you spend for something?
So I
Deal or no deal?
Yes.
So I paid $34.99 for the game. I would say the game is probably worth, I'd say $23.99, $24.99. It's a very solid game. It's very good.
You didn't buy it when it was new? I assume it released at 50 when it first came out.
No, it
It was
released.
released 34.
Yeah.
It was a
So
discount
one of the
title.
neatest things about this is it was one of the first games that came with all these pack-in
Oh,
items.
wait, is
Yeah.
this one of the handheld ones?
Yeah,
Ah,
it's for the
okay.
DS.
I'm sorry, I thought
It came with a nifty little,
like PlayStation.
stylus that extends, and it had its own little
It's a
kind
nice
of
pack-in.
a wax opening box that had an art book.
It had a art book with
CD.
a retrospective of Castlevania timeline, a Castlevania soundtrack.
That was a compilation of many Castlevania
A
songs.
it came with a stylus
Accoutrements.
and a little pack, a little plastic thing that you could hold 2 DS games in it, which would
Which
be
were the
perfect for
prior,
both
yeah.
Castlevanias.
This Castlevania and the prior one.
So
I would say based on what it came with, because of the bonus items, it was worth closer to $30. That was
Okay.
a neat item. I mean, I'm just throwing my 2 cents in there, but that was one of the neatest things is to see we were actually getting a game with pack-in stuff.
yeah, not since Working Designs came out with Langrisser have
Yeah.
we seen a pack-in of that quality. Of course,
Yeah.
that's probably why they're out of business. the other Castlevania game that I want to get into real quickly is Dracula X Rondo of Blood, and that is for the Turbo Duo, the TurboGrafx 16 on crack with the CD-ROM drive. And this Castlevania is a very stark departure from all the other Castlevanias. For one thing, the art style is very, very heavily anime influenced. Not only that, but it has a very rock soundtrack, which is very unlike Castlevania. It's not what you're used to.
I take it they didn't include any of those tracks on the aforementioned compilation.
Actually, here's the strange thing. On the CD that came with that game that I just reviewed,
Get to the part where you pee.
The CD that came with the Portrait of Ruin pack-in, it had music from all the other Castlevanias, and it had a track from Rondo of Blood, which is very interesting because the game did not come out in this country.
Yeah.
In fact, in the CD art book and the retrospective, Rondo of Blood is not even mentioned because it never came out in this country. But moving on. So it plays this game plays pretty much like a normal Castlevania game. The only difference is that there's branching paths in the middle of the game, so you can get to a part and you can decide to go down, go up, whatever, and this will change where you end up in the game. And you can also rescue fair maidens, get a companion, Maria, who is a companion in the game.
Oh, that kind of companion.
Yeah, no, she's like 8 in this.
Oh, that kind of companion.
Yeah, it's a Japanese game.
Got to do the good ship, lollipop.
But the game itself is very solid. It has aged pretty well. The only issue that I really have with it is that because it's on the Super CD Turbo Duo, the load time is kind of slow.
But it still fetches quite the price on eBay.
Yeah, it's like a $200 game.
Well,
Very
that seems like what happens when it never comes out in the U.S.
And it's in a limited print run, very, very limited. But it is possibly the best Castlevania game out there, next to Symphony of the Night.
Which we're going to be getting on Xbox Live here, aren't we?
But anyway, I'm going to give Castlevania Rondo of Blood. This was going to be kind of a hard one because can't really do it off a price because the price is not.
I don't even remember what the release price was.
Well, how much do you think it's worth?
$40 or $50 back.
How much do I think the game is worth?
$10.
No, the game is not worth $10.
$20.
I mean, as far as a collector's item, it is definitely worth at least $150 just on a collector's value alone.
Yeah,
but as far as a game, I would say that the game value itself, I would consider it around a $60 to $70 game. It is a very, very solid game. I will give you that.
Yeah.
But
to say it's the best Castlevania. You really like Castlevania.
I am a fan of the series.
But does it like you?
Well, it likes me except for the part when it slapped me and stole my car keys when Castlevania 64 came out.
Can you sink your teeth into it?
Brian will be fired from the podcast.
So taking a bite out of crime.
Yeah. So
a docket from your pay.
that's the Castlevania reviews I have. So next we have Brian doing a review on Serial, right?
Yeah, right.
Well,
Except
Honeycomb Beat.
Quite that good.
Yeah, Honeycomb Beat.
Honeycomb.
You want to smack the honeycomb?
So
we don't want to know what you do.
The Honeycomb Beat is big. Yeah.
It's not small. No.
Thank you, my
Okay,
friend.
all right. The fact that you've been able to make jokes all this time and then I make a joke, it's like, blasphemy! Review!
There's a certain amount of art in making a joke. And
I have none of them, apparently.
And when you find that art, can you please let him know to stop giving you material?
Please mail it to us at
paintbrush
diehardgamerradio@gmail.com.
Anyways, the game I bought and was actually looking forward to, and surprisingly enough got as a gift, which was even better, was called Honeycomb Beat. And it's a game by Hudson Soft, which is kind of whacked, kind of interesting. They're not a big puzzle company, so I was...
But was an appropriate puzzle game for them.
Yeah, and uniquely enough, seeing as how they're their key mascot is a little bee. You find in a lot of their games. Anyways,
not
Honeycomb
since
Beat,
Mylan's Secret Castle has there been so many bees. But
yeah. Anyways, Honeycomb Beat is basically a puzzle game that uses hexes, and these are basic little 6-sided tiles, and there's 6 of them across. And when I say basic, I mean they're just basic tiles. There's nothing special about it.
No, I thought you meant hexes like spells.
Okay. You should probably start this one over.
That's
ruined
okay.
My train of thought.
He'll just have to edit. Edit for you.
Yeah.
More editing.
Edit now. These are basic tiles. There's 6 of them across, and it's not a standard puzzle where a lot of times you play puzzle games, the pieces drop down and you got to place them to make them disappear. This is kind of a twist where they rise from the bottom up, and you've got to make them disappear by making it all one color across. And there's only 2 colors, so the key to the game is touching the hex with your stylus. Each time you touch the hex, every hex around that hex that touches it also changes color. So you're trying to flip these in different patterns to form a line of all the same color and make it disappear.
So kind of lights out-ish.
Yeah. The interesting thing is there's all these weird little patterns in there, and it took me hours. I mean, I've dropped like 5-6 hours of this game before I started seeing the patterns because I knew they were there. I just couldn't get my mind to grasp the concept yet. The neat thing is it's got a little tutorial that kind of shows you basically what to touch, where to touch, how to get the patterns, how to achieve multiple pieces moving and disappearing at the same time. And on top of that, there's a whole puzzle mode you can go through that does the same thing. It teaches you in that tutorial vein of, it basically is your tutorial, I should say. And you do that in huge sections of 10 across. And there's like 20 levels of this that show the complexity of just all the things you can do. To add on top of that, there's little symbols you can get that are directional, that they slant upwards, slant downwards, go straight across. There's even one that is a hex itself that you can actually move in, or you just touch on top of the hexes. And like, say the slanting upward from left to right one, it's like a backward slash, if you will, or a slash. You touch that, all the tiles in that row disappear, and it has a dramatic effect on it. So it adds a little more to the game when it starts, getting built up, or when you start kind of getting bored of the same basic patterns you see. And you can achieve these when you do you knock out 3-4 lines in some of these puzzles. You actually get those as bonuses, and you can drag them from your little bonus section onto the board and utilize them how you want to. So it's really not a normal puzzle game. It's probably not for everybody. And it's definitely kind of an oddball, especially from Hudson. But I got to give them kudos for the effort. I think it was a lot of fun to check out.
And what would you pay for this game?
Well, it was an import, so I'm guessing it probably would have been around $35 to $40. I'd give it a definite $20 just for my love of puzzles. The average person probably not more than we'll say $10 to $15 at most. It's definitely not for everybody, but for those that like puzzle games, it's definitely a challenge and kind of
and I played it, and it was just really hard for me to just get used to it.
You can't grasp it immediately. You really got to sit down for a few hours.
And that seems to be kind of counterintuitive to most puzzle games, as the majority of puzzle games are designed in a way so that you can grasp the basic concept real fast.
But almost every puzzle game is also falling blocks and color matching. So
this works in the opposite. Yeah, it forces you to think differently and to change your mind. You get stuck on this game where you're thinking, I need to change everything to white, and in an instant you can hit another tile and boom, you change it all to yellow, and suddenly, hey, the whole line's gone. And it forces you to stop and go, well, I don't want to think in just one color. I got to think in both. And whatever's the easiest way to solve this whole line.
The brain training rating system was also entertaining.
Yeah. It's a neat game. It's just not for everybody, and you really got to be determined to understand it and put some hours into it. So
okay,
hardcore.
All right. Anything else?
Nah.
Okay.
Puzzle enthusiasts rejoice.
So the Gunpei review will be later.
Yeah, we'll do Gunpei next time. I haven't gotten to put enough time into that, and there's a couple of bonus modes in that also that I don't totally understand.
We should probably mention it's also named after the
Gunpei Yokoi, creator of the Game Boy.
Deceased. actually 10 years.
And Virtual Boy.
10 years. 10 years that he's been dead.
But yeah, this game was put out in honor of him, and kind of in the anniversary.
I thought he designed it.
Yeah, but it was just never released. I think they're kind of digging through his
because he
backlog
designed the
of
Wonder
things
Swan, and I think that's what. What?
The Wonder Spawn.
Yeah, it's
it's an import system nobody really uses out here, except for the real hardcore.
All right, moving on. John has a review for us.
Oh, I was also just wondering, though, I think I saw on one of the import stores, Gunpei Reverse. Is that the original name, or did they already come out with a sequel to it in Japan?
No, this is the first one. I wonder if that was the original PSP iteration, because I thought it was supposed to come out on the PSP episode.
The original Gunpei was on the Wonder Swan. There was a sequel to it. I think it's called Gunpei Next. And there may be remakes of those two games. I will have to double check. I don't know off the top of my head.
Yeah, try and find out what that one is.
Okay.
Anyway, so I was going to talk about CHIBI ROBO.
Does it say small robot?
It is, in fact, about a small robot. Shocking, I know. It's a very cute game with a charming art style. You play a small robot that gets brought into a household and whose job is to clean up and try and make their lives better. You collect happy points and dollars as you go through the game.
This isn't like like an illegal immigrant simulation, is it?
If illegal immigrants were 4 inches tall and made of steel, yes.
They are.
And kind of a sequel to Bicentennial Man.
One of the most charming things it does, though, is the sound effects for the robot are all musical tones, which seems like a small thing, but really changes the feel of the game and gives it a cuter feel than you would expect for what the material is. Which is already pretty damn cute, really. One of the problems with the game, though, is that the level of challenge is very low. It's definitely designed to be a children's game, and as you go through, it gives you opportunities to build yourself up to whatever level you want to before you continue on to the next area. So if you ever get stuck, you can completely build yourself past the point where it's difficult. The graphics could be a PS1 game, really nice PS1 game, but they're definitely simplistic. They help make up for it by having large open spaces that you get to go around in, but they're not pushing even the GameCube hardware, really. The story is fairly touching, really. You get to learn about this family, learn what their problems are, try and help them out, and I think it's that sense of realism on top of it all that helps make the game work. As a value for this game, I think if you have a child, this would be an excellent game. Would definitely be worth $20 there. For everyone else, I'm just not sure that there's going to be the level of challenge there to really keep the game going for them. And I might pick it up for novelty, but wouldn't pay more than $10 for it.
It's already down to $14.99 at Target.
Okay. Next,
at $9.99 at CompUS or Circuit City.
So next we have a review that is being done by a woman who keeps touching her nose to the microphone, and I'm picking it up.
It's squishy. It feels
she was trying
neat.
to mouth it earlier, so.
Try it. It feels really cool.
She's graduating.
See, we're at the
well, if you tried it, you'd know.
we're at the professional level of podcastery now, and we are beyond such low level humor.
Mics.
Lara Croft, Tomb Raider Legends, or more affectionately known as Boob Raider, because it's Boob Raider. It is. It's pretty Lara Croft. It's titacular, and it's Boob Raider, and it's a platformer, and you jump and you climb and swing and you find things and you fight, and it's very pretty, and it's Boob Raider.
It sounds like
you are
sex.
playing the 360 version.
I am playing the 360 version.
That description just sounded
well,
like
if
sex.
you've played Boob Raider before, you've played this one.
It's a pandemic.
It's just much prettier backgrounds. And more bounce, and though the Japanese level was very funny with that cut down. She's got this cut down low dress and just cantaloupes hanging out. It was pretty amusing, and then all of a sudden she pulls out her guns from who knows where, and
Pull out the big guns.
She did. She's got like 45 magnums. I'm like, where'd you pull those from? Because you wasn't wearing them 5 seconds ago.
I heard she was loaded.
She is. But, so, oh, and it's got this wonderful ending that you, as my husband put it, and that was his response to the ending. Because it's one of those, or as Walker puts it, the Halo 2 ending.
Ah.
Yeah.
The ending that was
Not an ending.
Not an ending.
So.
Never-ending story.
Well, this is also from Crystal Dynamics, which does have a track record of doing long-running series, which don't bother to conclude things in the middle at all.
Oh, you mean like Pandemonium?
No, I mean
Or
like
Gex,
Soul
or-
Reaver.
Oh. He reaps souls.
Yes,
Rolls?
does in fact Reeve Souls.
Yes.
But it was really nice that they took this one away from the original developer. They gave it to Crystal Dynamics, which really revitalized the series. And the controls are better than they used to be. They added some nice new mechanics to it. Tomb Raider was identical through all of the games, and it finally got better again. It was nice.
Not as good of a platformer as Prince of Persia, though.
I would have liked to have seen the PSP version out, too, because the trailer I saw for that was phenomenal.
Oh,
they just did a
that's-
really good job on that.
That's the Boob Raider
Too bad they
Ultimate.
cut it.
They're not going to do it for the PSP now? Because
No.
the last thing I saw was PS2, PSP, PC.
Well, maybe
Everything
the-
not-
the
everything
PSP
not for the 360
trailer I
or
saw
Xbox.
was actually the original Tomb Raider that had been revamped.
Oh.
It looks so much better on there.
Okay.
Also, it wasn't for the Ultimate.
No.
Oh, okay.
All right, I have a question about this Tomb Raider, even though I've never been a big fan of the Tomb Raider series. I remember playing Tomb Raider 1 on the original PlayStation. I played Tomb Raider 2 and hated them both. And my big issue with the Tomb Raider series in general has always been control. Now, is there any improvement in the control whatsoever in this game?
Oh yeah, you don't drown easily. that was always my problem with Tomb Raider. I just had this bad
But I mean,
problem
as far
with
as, like,
drowning.
What were your problems
Moving.
with the controls before?
Just really stiff control.
Oh,
Wasn't able to do what I wanted to
They got
do.
rid of the tank control thing,
Okay.
if that bothered you.
Yeah.
I think they're really responsive actually, and
And Crystal Dynamics knows how to make a platformer.
They just don't know how to make an ending.
Yeah.
Well, they eventually ended the Legacy of Kain series. You just had to play all 5-6 games to get it. It's a really good ending.
so what's the John? Yeah, how much should we pay for this? Versus how much you think it'd be worth? Is that the John
Yeah.
rating?
Yeah.
Okay, I think we paid $35 for it at GameStop, something like that, or maybe it was $25 and we got it used. But it's about worth $20. I've had fun, and that's about it. Very exciting.
Okay.
November, Boob Raider.
Okay. Thanks for that review, such as it was.
Short, sweet, simple.
Yes.
Simple!
The game did not suck completely.
The game did not suck, and it was worth the money, because actually we got it for a lot cheaper than that.
Oh, and the motorcycle levels were really cool.
I can't do those. I made Roger do those because I can't.
Yeah, didn't expect to have vehicle combat in Tomb Raider, but did it, and it was fun.
I had Roger play those because it was first person, and I just went.
It wasn't first person.
Well, you have to. I also can't play driving games for the same reason.
So you gave
Well,
the
neither can
driving game to Roger.
He got it through. That's all I can say. He would have done better because I'm like, I'm trying to
Got
do
it
it.
through. He penetrated the enemy.
He did. I'm driving. I was like,
He
okay,
rated their
hit the A
moves.
button every about 3 seconds. So she just went putt, 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 because otherwise I'd get sick playing it.
That's
really
pretty
fucking
bad.
sad. It's like took me about
I told you
half
to
an
turn
hour.
your head, and I'll tell you when it's done.
Well, she asked, and then she'd like slam into a tree or something. Oh god, it was terrible. And so I just gave it to Roger, and he got me through the level.
Roger and driving game.
Yeah, it's sad. So
All right. So, did you enjoy yourself, Em?
it was a blast.
A master blast?
We're gonna go find Master Blaster. From my video to my radio.
Okay. Whatever. Sure, we'll go with that. So, Glitter, have you found the exit to from the flip side yet? No.
Was your name Glitter?
Yes.
I don't remember that.
Oh, I remember that.
We suppress those memories.
Because we didn't buy the full body pillow to go to sleep with every night.
No, I just had the action figures.
That I believe.
No.
Oh wait, no, she's wearing fucking thigh highs. That's what it is.
No, she's wearing leg warmers.
Oh, same difference. You
No,
probably have the
it's-
hots for her.
No, I didn't have the hots
totally.
for her. Who's the?
Definitely more hot.
No, who is that? Who's the chick that Mexican chick that was like had the hots for kid video? God, I don't remember her name.
You mean the woman
Maria.
that was black?
No, she
Wasn't
like,
Mexican. She was black.
No, I'm pretty sure. No, yeah. I'm gonna look it up on Wikipedia, or Keegan will send me an email and correct me on it.
Well, maybe she's Puerto Rican or Dominican.
Okay. Join us again for more podcast shenanigans.
As Murdock goes emo, they won't behave.
Quiet you.